Hello, welcome back to the tutorial. So in the last tutorial, we actually completed this process where we actually were able to send in a JSON payload, this payload, and actually saved it into a server, which is actually hosted on the cloud. So we actually saved it into this file called new contact detail one.csv. So today we are going to just be making things more interesting. We'll just be doing the reverse of this action, just trying to fetch from the server. So a simple test how to fetch from the server and actually display this as a JSON payload. So we're using the notify shape, which actually did earlier on in the series. So it has been a rich series, and we have actually touched on various things, various shapes, APIs you would use as an integrator. So let's get started. So I'm just going to create a new process. I'm going to say fetch CSV create. So the first thing I want to do, we are going to be using a node data because we'll be doing everything locally. We'll be testing this from beginning to end on the system directly. So we'll be able to use the notify shape. So I'll just say start here. So the first thing we want to actually look at here is just a minute. The first thing we want to actually do here is the get function from SFTP. So I use an SFTP. So I just say fetch. The connection is what we have defined earlier on. It's a light sail. The operation. Let's see what the operation entails. We defined these operations earlier on in the course, so we can reuse the operations. So let's just see what it entails. It just actually entails setting up the folder. So I'm just going to cancel this and create a new one. I'll just do like this. I'll create a new one. The working directory we created, so that was supposed to be, just hold on, so I just copy and paste the right files. Yeah, and the file type, what is the file you want to fetch for? So if you're actually fetching multiple files, you can actually just do this. But in this scenario, what we are doing is we are fetching a particular file. So I'm just going to copy this and use the same file we created the last time. I'll just copy this name. I'm going to put it here. So that means in this folder, I want to get this file. So I'm just going to rename this as say fetch contact file. I save and close. Sorry, I come back to my process. Yeah, so everything is in. We have the configuration. We are doing a get request. You're not doing a send, which is the inverse of what we did the last time. So I click on OK. The next thing I want to do is a map. I want to map. So when we actually, so I'll just say transform CSV to JSON. So I'm creating a new map here. So I'll call this contact CSV to JSON. So the reason why is it CSV, because that's what you actually have on that directory. Yeah. So you're trying to convert a CSV into a JSON, and we'll be able to read this out. So I click on choose. So earlier on, we did this together. We created contact details together in the last class. So we are just going to reuse this contact details. So it's just the same field name, customer name, phone number, and address. And also on this part, we want a JSON object. So I'm just going to click on JSON profile, and also I'm going to use contact details. We did both in the last class. I can just use Boomi suggest to do the mapping, or better on, I can drag and drop. So I'm because of working with scenarios that actually have a very long fields. I'm very used to using Boomi suggest. So which is just what I'll go ahead with. Next, next, finish. So I'll just save and close, and I say OK. Then the next thing I want to do is to use the notify shape. The notify shapes allows me to see the data inside this of the result of the mapping. I'll just say results. And so what do I want as a variable here? So I'm just going to, because I'm going to be joining the, I'll just explain this. I'm going to use it as my variable here. I want to use current data. The current data means, okay, whatever you're seeing that's coming into you, that's your current data. So I'll just explain it. So if I join this map to this notify option, the result of this map would be the current data in the notify shape. So that's what we want. So that means here we have a variable called current data, and what do I want to see? I want to see this current data. So I'm just going to be doing in curly braces, putting 1 and ending the curly braces, because that's the number of a variable. So you can have multiple variables and you can actually just join them here. So pretty quick, I'll just bring a stop shape and do this. I'll say stop, and I'll join it all together, and that process is ready just to save and test. Everything looks okay. I'll save. I think it's good you have the habit of arranging your work to look good, because for documentation purposes you might take screenshots and want to explain this. So I just arrange, so I can now test this. So I'm going to say save. So I'm going to be using my production. So and I wait and see, cross my fingers and hope that everything goes well. So that's what I'll be doing. So let's wait a bit. So it's going. It's trying to access the SFTP. Yeah, so everything looks well. So as you can see, everything, all the shapes are green. So let's see whether we actually had a JSON object here. So I click on this shape. So if I just move this a little bit, you can see on the third info we have from here parameter 1. I click on this, it shows me the values, and okay, so we have this customer name. It gives us everything that we actually saved into the CSV file. So that actually means that process was worked, that we're able to send into an SFTP server, we're able to read out to an SFTP server, and also you can actually use the star, the asterisk, to actually filter by to just, if you want to read a particular set of files, to use the asterisk. So this will bring us to the end of this tutorial. So as you always know, communicate with the communicate, share your ideas with the community, the forum. Thanks a lot, and don't feel, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out.